Test is sponsored by We Are Wrestling. You can find
Make sure to subscribe, baby.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host, the best one, Donnie here, back with a new episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show with my co-host.
What's going on, everybody? Danny Huckins back here, man. The co-host with the most, back here to talk about some wrestling this week, man.
That's right, we're here to talk about some wrestling. And if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet, recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications, videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course you already know, the grind is real. And this week, there really isn't crazy things going on in the wrestling world.
No, man. There's really, like, the main thing that everybody is talking about since Monday is the passing of Scott Hall, which, you know, we already made a 30-minute video on it. If you guys would like to check that out, it's on the channel.
Yeah, where Danny and I, we both talk about the career of Scott Hall, some of our favorite matches, moments, and also my meet and greet experience with Scott Hall. So if you guys want to go check that out, go check it out. It's on the We Are Wrestling Talk Show page. But yeah, I say we get right into freaking quick takes.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it up.
Alright, here we go. And I think this week, in all honesty, like, a lot of these topics could be considered quick takes.
Oh, definitely.
But of course, you know, we got some good ones for this week. So here we go. Ready? Alright, 10 minutes. We are going to start it up right about now. Alright, so we start off with AEW Dynamite. Thunder Rosa wins the Women's World Championship against Britt Baker in the cage match.
Yeah, she's been hustling for a while, man, and I've seen a couple of things that she's done outside of AEW. Like, I've watched Warrior Wrestling 19. She had like a killer 45-minute match with Athena that ended in a draw because, you know, they were both beating the hell out of each other. I knew what Thunder Rosa was capable of. And I knew the minute that they had the mariachi band play, because they were in like her adopted hometown or whatever, I knew that she was gonna walk out to be the champion. I knew they were gonna put the championship on her since last week. I think I told you that.
Yeah, I think that this was a great move for AEW because Britt Baker, don't get me wrong, she was a great women's world champion. She's been the champ actually for almost about a year. She won that Double or Nothing back in May. But my thoughts is that her title reign's been getting a little stale, and I feel like, I don't know, for Britt Baker, like, she's already beat every women on, you know, the roster, and I think having Thunder Rosa get this moment, I think, well deserved.
Can we just talk about how brutal that cage match was, though, man?
So good. Such a great match.
You have
just like that lights out match that they had last year.
You have Britt Baker get knocked off the top rope, landing on a mound of steel chairs, and then they're getting slammed through thumbtacks, man. I thought I was watching like an old school Mick Foley match.
For real, like, I feel like the women are a little bit more hardcore in AEW than the guys.
Well, you know who wears the pants in their relationships, man.
Oh yeah, not Adam Cole, baby. Moving on to our next quick take. Brian Cage says there is a plan for AEW TV return in a recent interview.
Yeah, apparently Tony Khan extended his deal or whatever, signed him to some kind of new deal or whatever. Just like you, and I did watch a lot of your reaction videos from Dynamite last night. I do think that they need to pair Brian Cage up with MJF. He'd be a good bodyguard, a good, that's the only role I really see him striving in. You know what I mean?
That's the only role that makes actual sense. You can't put Brian Cage back with Team Taz. They already broke that up. The most sense it makes is having him pair back up with MJF, because if they're going to have this MJF Wardlow feud, I feel like they need to have a new bodyguard for MJF, and who better than the Machine?
Yep, because MJF, he always likes to have people, help him win and help him become the victor in most of his matches. It's the only thing that makes sense.
That's why, like, MJF had the Pinnacle. At one point, he even had Butcher and Blade. They were his hitmen. And I think it would just only make sense for Brian Cage to be MJF's bodyguard, because then that can lead into a Brian Cage versus Wardlow match, which I think would be really good, because
That'd be
it's two
awesome.
monsters.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, so now moving on to our next quick take. Killer Kross is set to make a New Japan Pro Wrestling debut.
As long as he's not looking like Super Shredder, man, and when, like, you know, wearing that whole face mask and stuff that he was in WWE. Killer Kross, I've been a fan of him since NXT. I don't know much about his independent run or whatever, but I liked what I see. I didn't like the fact that he was NXT champion and he lost to Jeff Hardy in that kind of manner. Like, I'm not upset that
in like 2 minutes.
I'm not upset that Jeff won. I'm upset the fact that Karrion Kross, you're building this guy up as one of your world champions, yet he loses in 2 minutes. It's just not how you do business, not how you book talent.
Yeah, and I think that's like when like the Black and Gold brand officially died. Was when they had Jeff Hardy bury Karrion Kross. But I think that this is a good move for New Japan, because Killer Kross, like, outside of WWE, he is like a strong style wrestler. And like, he has a very like unique character as well. And I think in New Japan, like, he could be the IWGP World Championship, maybe.
I mean, in reality, him and Scarlett would be able to go anywhere. They would strive in New Japan. They would strive in Ring of Honor, Impact, maybe even AEW if they could find, you know, a good placement. I think Scarlett would do good for the women's division. I mean,
they could definitely use her.
There's things you can do. You know, he can pretty much work anywhere and fit in anywhere.
Yeah, and I think, like, because for me, Killer Kross, I've been a fan of his work since Impact Wrestling, when he debuted this character. It was very unique. He had, like, a card with, like, an X on it. He would attack people, and I just loved the entrance, loved the look, loved the promos, and I think that Killer Kross, like, he's going to absolutely kill it outside of WWE.
I definitely think so, too.
Yeah, so now moving on to our next topic here. Oh my goodness. Queen Sharmell gets inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2022.
This pretty much goes to show that WWE will put put me. I would be a better candidate to be in the WWE Hall of Fame than Queen Sharmell. Outside of Screw and Booker T, she hasn't really done anything.
Yeah, I feel like she had an important role in the King Booker character, but not worth putting her in the Hall of Fame.
What the hell did she achieve, man? There's so many other talented individuals from, you know, even back in the 80s, 70s, whatever, that I feel are more deserving to be in the Hall of Fame spot. Yeah, you're giving it to somebody that's never... Did she even have a match? Has she ever wrestled?
No, I think, like, the one thing that I remember out of Queen Sharmell was when Boogeyman put some worms down her throat at, like, WrestleMania 22.
Well, that's a topic for another time. Let's go to the other topic, because fuck Queen Sharmell.
Yeah, Sharmell, she definitely does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. They probably had other ideas, but I'm sure people turned it down, so they just gave Sharmell the opportunity to join probably the worst Hall of Fame, like...
You know who they
Hall
should...
of Fame in sports.
Honestly. You know who they should have replaced it with? Gangrel. I don't think Gangrel is in the Hall of Fame yet.
He's not a Hall of Famer. Ken Shamrock.
Ken Shamrock, Gangrel. Like, come on, man. You have Queen fucking Sharmell.
Yeah, even Al Snow and Head. What the fuck? Moving on to our last quick take. Lita is set to be doing an interview with Stone Cold on Broken Skull Sessions.
That's going to be awesome, man. I saw the one that Jeff Hardy did with Steve Austin on the Broken Skull Sessions on the WWE Network back around Thanksgiving.
$9.99.
One topic that, you know, I was wishing they would talk about, but they didn't, was, remember when it was Triple H and Steve Austin, they were like sort of like a tag team or whatever, that night on Monday Night Raw, to where Triple H and Austin decimated the Hardys and Lita with the steel chairs? I think it was around the time that Jeff Hardy gave the twist of fate to Stephanie McMahon and really pissed Triple H off and won the Intercontinental Championship on SmackDown. Like, they decimated the Hardys and Lita with the steel chair. I was wishing that topic would get brought up, but it didn't. maybe they'll talk about it on this episode. I would like to hear like what their thought process was going into that segment.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a great interview for we are wrestling maniacs out there to tune into.
Is there a release date yet?
A great career. I don't know when they're going to do the interview, when they're going to release it, but should be coming out pretty soon on Peacock.
I think they already recorded it because I mean they already took the screen grab of like the profile picture or whatever they're gonna be using. So we're just waiting for a release date. That's one interview I'm definitely gonna. I love Steve Austin, so anytime he interviews somebody, it's always a treat. You know, he's had a lot of good guests on there, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and also too, I guess Stone Cold is gonna be. He's actually getting himself back into in-ring shape as well.
Did you see his Instagram yesterday? He was doing.
Not know.
He was because yesterday it was 316 day, so Austin did a meet and greet yesterday. Like his new beer or whatever got released, his American Lager, and dude, he looks fucking jacked as a motherfucker, man.
Oh yeah, he's ready.
There's like
even
a 14-minute.
Even if it's just a silly, Kevin Owens show, like Austin, he's taking this shit serious. He takes the sport serious.
There's like he did a 14-minute live stream on his Instagram yesterday. I don't know if it's still up. I don't know if you can still watch it. Maybe somebody screen grabbed it and you can watch it somewhere else. But I would watch it. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Also, too, as we're recording this, it's St. Patrick's Day as well. And where's Hornswoggle at?
I don't know, man.
St. Patty's Day.
Wasn't he in? I think he might be under the ring, man. I don't know if he's in Impact or I don't think he'd be in AEW. Maybe New Japan.
Yeah, we need Finley and Hornswoggle. Like they need to come out of nowhere.
Bro, I'm surprised Hornswoggle, man, doesn't take that awesome street cred that he has in the pro wrestling business and start his own midget wrestling promotion. Do you know how many midgets want to be pro wrestlers, man, but they don't have the opportunity? I think Hornswoggle can make a fucking trend, man. All the short people.
Him and El Torito. But yeah, that was this week's quick takes. Obviously, we flew through those, so we just started randomly talking about stuff. But yeah, hey, that's quick takes for you. Sometimes, we go on longer than 10 minutes. Other times, we get it done in like 5 minutes.
The way I see it, man, this is a wrestling talk show. As long as we're talking about wrestling, it's all gonna be good, man.
That's right, wrestling. But
wrestling.
But now we're gonna actually talk about AEW. Or first, before we talk about AEW Dynamite, did you watch Monday Night Raw?
I watched a little bit. I was gonna stream Monday, and then I ended up falling asleep like around 4. I didn't wake up till 8. I hadn't set up any of my stream or anything like that. I caught like the last maybe hour and a half. So I didn't watch a lot of it, but
yeah, no, same here. I feel like for me, I don't know, but like Raw, it's been very blah, just like SmackDown, blah. It's like we all know what's gonna exactly happen for Mania with the match cards. Like the only thing interesting going into this is probably Edge, AJ Styles, and definitely Stone Cold and Kevin Owens. And also Seth Rollins. I actually kind of like what they're doing there with him.
Yeah, I mean, did you I did see there's a video on YouTube that's circulating about what happened to did you see the segment between Austin Theory and Seth Rollins after Raw went off the air?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So I saw that. That was pretty interesting.
My question to you is, do you think Cody is going to be at WrestleMania?
I don't know, man. Nobody's asked me that yet. Do I think he will? There's a possibility. I don't want to say yes. I don't want to say no. I personally think he's an idiot if he goes back. You know what I mean? I
don't know. I disagree because I feel like with AEW, there's not really a spot for Cody. I think WWE, I feel like need him, and I think he needs WWE.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, he has star power from doing like all these game shows and reality shows, whatever. Like, I don't know if he wants to wrestle like he used to. You know what I mean? And if they sign Cody to a big time contract, he's not gonna be able to be like, all right, I'll work, once or twice a month, I want these days off or these weeks off, whatever. He's not gonna be able to do that. Vince McMahon is gonna invest all this money into him. you know, and he's gonna come in with the popularity of him being the very first AEW star to leave AEW and come to
Jump
WWE.
ship. Yeah.
You know, he's not gonna be able to do what he wants when he wants to. I think maybe he should get out of the wrestling business for a while and use his star power. Maybe pick up some Hollywood movie roles. Maybe do some more reality TV, more stuff along that. I mean, he can do that without WWE.
I would love to see him like take on Ring of Honor. Like I wish that like he would be the booker for that, but obviously Tony Khan, like in my opinion, like I'm okay with him booking AEW because it's his product and stuff, but I feel like with Ring of Honor, like I feel like it's going to become a little too much on Tony Khan to take
Yeah.
on both of those. So I don't know. I feel like Cody, like would have been the perfect like situation for Cody, but I want to see him in WWE because like I'm sick of WWE being so bad. And like I don't know, like he brings star power over there because there's
Yeah,
guys
but
like Drew McIntyre who, came from literally jobbing out being a 3MB member to like a world champion. And I think Cody Rhodes has that same potential.
what makes you think Cody Rhodes is going to be able to change anything? It's going to be the same product, just Cody Rhodes is going to be involved. Plus, if he comes to WWE, he's going to be on Monday Night Raw. That's where they have AJ Styles, Edge. They have Randy Orton. He should have went to SmackDown, to where all they have is fucking Roman Reigns. They don't have anybody on SmackDown.
Stardust.
I guarantee you. Vince McMahon will treat Cody Rhodes very, very well for like 6 months to a year. And then once all that, hype dies down, here comes Stardust again. I have an idea.
Hey, we'll see. You never know with WWE. You do have a point.
Pete Dunne was a phenomenal champion in NXT.
Oh,
He was
God.
phenomenal. They named him Butch. Like, WWE does not have the I don't want to say credibility, but they don't have I don't even know the word for it. They're like 0 and like 20 when it comes to like doing good things to help the promotion.
Yeah. I can't even argue about that, even if I like really was trying to. But
Did
yeah,
you hear
so
one?
basically,
Did you hear one other thing? Apparently, now this is not confirmed, so don't take my word for it 100%. You guys can do your own research or whatever. But apparently,
take it with a pinch of salt.
exactly from what I heard, man, this is a little inside scoop. After Mania, WWE is planning on bringing Tommaso Ciampa to the main roster full time.
I can see that happening already.
And they're going to be changing his name to Skutch. SKUTCH.
No.
That's what I heard. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if it's true. You can do your own research, but that's what I heard.
Jesus! What's the point?
This is what I'm saying, man. They don't have a good track record.
Like, I've noticed something too, like, even with, like, Walter. Like, even the commentators can't even say his new name. They still say Walter. And, like, didn't they even botch, like, Pete Dunne? Like, they said Pete Dunne friggin' multiple times in the commentary.
I don't know, but I was watching somebody else talking, like, some wrestling news and stuff like that. And he brought up a good point, man.
Oh my God, I want to go to a WWE live event to see Butch. Yeah.
And Scotch. Yeah. Why is everybody wearing fucking suspenders? It's like Bruce Pritchard has like a fetish for suspenders. Madcap Moss, Butch, like everybody just seems like they're wearing. Karrion Kross, he wore everybody's wearing suspenders.
Well, soon Steve Urkel will be on WWE TV.
Apparently,
Oops,
man.
I say that. But now let's talk about AEW Dynamite, because obviously Raw was just blah.
Yeah, pretty much.
WWE by itself, blah.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the Dynamite show?
I thought it was really good. I love dude. The Jericho Appreciation Society. I knew from the get-go that I was gonna like it. And everything
they finally talked about Sammy Guevara. That's all I wanted out of this. That's all I wanted. And they gave it to me.
And everything that Jericho said was 100% true, dude. He donated thousands of dollars to Daniel Garcia when he got in that accident. Him and Jake Hager have been really close since 2010 because they used to be on SmackDown together. Um, he mentioned Kevin Owens. That's his old friend Kevin. He mentioned Kevin
Yep.
Owens. And when AEW first started, he held AEW together for the first 3-4 months. It was him and Cody Rhodes, but the one true main eventer that they had at the beginning was Jericho. Cody Rhodes wasn't a massive name like he is now. The Young
Yep.
Bucks, they did like some TV or whatever, but never on like a national scale or anything like
And
that.
Omega wasn't like New Japan Omega in the beginning.
And I just watched. I told you I watched Jericho's interview on the Kurt Angle show, Kurt Angle's podcast, and
Yep.
he even mentioned it. He was like, the first 3 months I had to really, buckle down and make as many stars and put as many people over as I can. You know what I mean? To build like the main event scene in AEW. Everything that the dude said was 100% fact.
Yeah, and you see, here's the thing. Like, I thought in the beginning of this, like, this was like lazy booking with like the name, but I will say when I'm wrong, I admit it. And in this case, I was absolutely wrong because obviously what Jericho's been doing, like when he was out of shape and stuff, like the end of the inner circle stuff, like it was just very like maybe Jericho's
Yeah.
losing it, but man, Jericho I think definitely is proving to us now that like he's more than ready and that he's more than serious about the business and he got himself in great shape, looks freaking 10 years younger. Also, like, I love the backstory behind the Jericho Appreciation Society. Jericho knows how to tell a story, and I
Hmm.
love the best part about it all. What I loved, I'm not a pro wrestler. I'm a sports entertainer. Heat 101. Because everybody in AEW, they talk about how they're the best pro wrestler. This and that. I hear it from every single wrestler. Kenny
Hmm.
Omega, I think his whole world championship run, he said it. Hangman says it. Bryan Danielson says it. Jericho, on the other hand, I'm a sports entertainer. Because you know the AEW crowd ain't going to like that. So I love how Jericho went outside the box with
Dude,
that.
Jericho's whole look now, like with like the the silk kind of shirts or whatever, with the like it being unbuttoned, him wearing like tight ass pants now, him having his hair down, dude. It reminds me of like Jericho from like 1999. Like it reminds me of like old school Jericho, dude, and I fucking love it. Like when I saw that dude, like I got such a nostalgic vibe. It was insane.
And you see, he literally put Hager over the last so when Hager turned on Santana and Ortiz, he
Yeah,
looked great. But then in this promo, Jericho made Hager freaking like I felt like this whole time with Hager in AEW, like he's been like hiding behind like a curtain or something. And like
yeah,
Jericho, like it's like, okay, there's Hager, finally. Like we're done playing peekaboo with him. Like we finally actually freaking like know what Hager's all about now, and like it makes more sense. And I think this is why the Jericho Appreciation Society has lots of potential because they have an up and coming star in Daniel Garcia, who now with Jericho by his side, like he's going to take his game to the next level. I definitely see a future TNT champion.
yeah.
Then we have 2.0, which I can't believe WWE really fumbled it with them because with NXT, they were just that generic tag team. Like kind of like you remember like with Too Cool, how
Yep.
Brian Christopher and Scotty Too Hottie, they had the team too much.
Yep.
There was just something missing about that tag team. And like
Rikishi.
I think like that's like what happened with 2.0 in NXT. Something was just missing. They left, and the next thing you know, AEW, because they have too many stars, they needed people to, put others over. And these young guys, friggin', they said that they pretty much took a chance and it paid off. And that's
Yep.
why I'm very happy for them.
Yeah, I mean,
Lots of
this
charisma.
I didn't before this role. I wasn't that crazy about 2.0, but I think that the pairing with them being in this new faction with Jericho, And Jericho, he's been in the business, man. He knows how it works. He's not afraid of putting people
30
over.
years.
He's not afraid of putting people over. So I think this is like the best position that they could possibly be in. They can, because I don't imagine they've been in the business that long, maybe like 10 years or so, but it gives them an opportunity to learn from somebody that's done things, that's done everything, that's been around the
Yeah.
world numerous times. Like, I mean, this is the best position that they could be in.
I think the best example too is like look at Sammy Guevara, how much he evolved from the first episode of Dynamite to
hmm
now. Like he's putting on classics.
I
And
thought
he's like
Sammy
and
Guevara was
he's one of their originals as well.
I thought Sammy Guevara, when I first heard about him, because everybody was talking about his YouTube channel or whatever, like the vlogging wrestler, I thought he was like a YouTuber before he transitioned into becoming a pro wrestler. So I didn't know anything much about him before I started watching AEW, but the dude impresses me. I just think
Plus he's
when it
very over with the crowd.
he's very over, but when it comes to Sammy Guevara, I do honestly think, especially like with everything that's going on with the way concussion protocols are, and we just saw Big E get a broken neck for doing something fucking extremely. It should have been like a very simple move to do, but apparently it wasn't. I do think Sammy Guevara needs to save like a lot of these big leaps and a lot of these big, death defying stunts or whatever for shows that actually matter, not just like random TV.
I feel like a lot of them need to take note on that. And like I feel like Chavo Guerrero, because he said this in a recent interview that like AEW, like they give the wrestlers a little too much freedom, but
hmm
WWE is the complete opposite. There's no common ground. And that's like something that they really have to start considering.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing that people like about AEW is the fact that like they're in a contract or whatever. It's guaranteed money, obviously, but they're able to do other things. If they want to film a movie or whatever, they only do AEW once a week. So if they want to go film a movie or whatever, they have an opportunity to. If they want to go to this promotion or whatever, as long as the money's right, they can do that on the side. They can make money from merch. They can
Oh yeah,
they can
absolutely.
do a lot of online things. Like, that's why I think AEW, a lot of people gravitate towards AEW because they're able to have other revenue streams. God forbid their contract runs up. Tony Khan's maybe not doesn't want to, sign an extension or sign another contract with them. They're able to, they'll be set financially.
Yeah, and I think like that's the thing with AEW that like I don't want them to take away from their wrestlers is that creative freedom, but I'm sorry, but
And
they have what hold on. They have lots of legends and wrestling freaking scientists they have in their freaking team. And
yep,
like I feel like a lot of these young guys, they need to really take advice from these people. Like I think Tony Nese recently, I think Mark Henry or somebody
yep,
told Tony Nese like who's Tony Nese? And like basically like saying, "Oh, I'm the best pro wrestler there. I'm the premier athlete." It's like, "Okay, and what else?" Because like pretty much like almost everybody on that roster, it's the same thing. Like I'm
yep.
the greatest pro wrestler. And it's like there needs to be more original things. People need to stand out. And I feel like with some of these wrestling minds, these legends, they really need to take a step back and learn.
Yep.
Because
And
AEW is not perfect, but with the way WWE is, it makes AEW freaking look perfect.
yeah, and what I was gonna say is the fact that with AEW allowing their stars to like do like a lot of independent runs or whatever on like the weekends and stuff like that, it gives us as fans, that chance to be able to interact with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
WWE, it almost seems like everybody there's in a fucking bubble and they're like in cage or whatever, and
it's a
us fans
cult.
don't. Us fans don't really have access to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like one thing that WWE definitely can benefit off of is maybe having like their guys instead of doing the WWE live events. Why don't you do meet and greets and stuff
They
more?
used to do that
People
all the
would pay
time. They
people would pay good money for that, and they could probably make more than what they're making at WWE house shows.
Remember when they used to have fucking autograph signings at stores, malls, and they used to have a whole section on WWE's website like up and coming meet and greets, meet so and so here or whatever. You know what they used to
Yeah,
do
the
that
only
all
meet
the
and greets I
time.
think they do is from like Cricket Wireless, I believe, nowadays. But that's still like freaking hard to meet people.
I just think, I mean, I don't know that I
So
just
anything else like with Dynamite though that you want to talk about before we get into our topics?
we saw the Hardys debut, man. They were getting their ass beat by Private Party. I knew you were trolling me, man. You had to have been trolling me.
I was trolling you. It was hilarious. I had to. Because what am I supposed to do during the freaking what do you call it? The play-by-play. Is that what they call that, or is it like
What?
cross commercial or something?
What do you mean?
Oh, picture by picture. Yeah, so like what the hell am I supposed to do with picture by picture? Freaking look at the picture by picture or go on your stream and troll you? I think I'd rather pick the second option there.
I don't know, man. Just saying you'd rather hear shots
Hey,
than the
some of your
Hardys.
fans actually believed it too. That's the funny thing.
I know. I didn't like I was tired last night, man. Like you could probably tell in my eyes I was a
Oh
little,
yeah, you were
not
out
like
of it.
I was a little tired. So I didn't pick up on it. And then this morning when I woke up after my kids had gotten to school, I was watching your reactions. I watched the reaction of the Hardy Boys match. I was like, you were like, oh, I'm gonna go on Danny's stream. I'm gonna troll him. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say. I was like, this son of a bitch, this asshole, man. So you got me.
Yeah, I can't
But
stand picture. I just can't. But
it's
overall, I thought AEW Dynamite it was a good overall show. I feel like the beginning of it could have been a little bit better, but it was still a good overall solid show.
Yeah, it's not it wasn't the best Dynamite I've ever seen, but it definitely was better than anything WWE can produce. Rampage Friday, man, it's gonna be the day that this comes out, man. Rampage, it's instead of being on 10, it's gonna be on at 11:30 because the basketball there's a basketball.
NCAA March Madness, woohoo!
So
And that's
I
why I'm glad they're on TBS. Just want to say that I hated when AEW like would be on TNT on Wednesdays because then NBA playoffs and stuff would get involved with it. So then they'd be like, "Oh, we're gonna have a special Dynamite on Saturday at freaking midnight," and it's like, no one gives a shit. We're not gonna watch it. We're probably gonna watch
yeah
the highlights.
yeah.
There's a reason why you have your friggin' show on Wednesday.
But I've said this on my stream last night. I do want to let everybody know I will be streaming tonight, the day that this show comes out. But
Woo!
obviously it's not going to be until like 11. So it's going to be a good show, man. We have Keith Lee on the card. We have Layla Hirsch on the card. I think we have the House of Black on the card in
Yep,
a
nice
six man.
trios match.
Dude, you're gonna want to watch it, man. It's gonna be like
Yeah,
the
that, that
best
that's
hour.
one thing. That's one thing too. I want to like criticize AEW on with Dynamite. They also I felt like had too many tag matches.
Yeah, but people say that, but I honestly don't mind it.
I
As
didn't.
long
I
as
didn't. I thought. I
as
thought that Teddy. I thought that Teddy Long freaking booked this show.
as long as the show's entertaining, there's good writing, there's story behind it, there's good performances. I mean, that's all any of us ask for. We ask for a good, solid pro wrestling show. That's what AEW gives us. So, like I said, man, I've told you this numerous times. I'm not in the business to, you know, degrade or downgrade or talk shit about Tony Khan. I mean, if it wasn't for him, we'd have to be stuck watching WWE, and nobody fucking wants that.
Yeah. But here's the thing, like as wrestling fans, I feel like we do have the right to criticize and that's the thing. Like if I'm gonna call WWE out on their bullshit, I do also have to call AEW out on their bullshit as well. Don't get me
Yep.
wrong. AEW is a way better product than WWE by a freaking long shot. WWE can't even come close to what AEW is doing, but there are flaws with AEW as well that like I want to see them fix because long term,
Oh,
if
absolutely.
they can long term, if they continue to, like forget and ignore these flaws, they're gonna come and bite them right in the ass.
Oh,
And I don't
absolutely.
want that to happen.
I'm not saying I've never once said that AEW was perfect. I'm just saying like AEW is as perfect as we have had over the last couple of years. You know what I mean?
Yes, I
Like
agree definitely with
AEW
that.
is just it's the wrestling show. It's the closest we'll ever be to the Attitude Era again. It's it's the wrestling that we've all been wanting as fans. They do have things that they need to fix and work on, but you just have to keep it in the back of your mind that they're only 3 years old. WWE's been around for over 40 years. You know what
Yeah,
I
and
mean? So
it's crazy what they've done in 3 years too. I
so
do say that.
over time, AEW they're gonna release people, they're gonna hire people. It's not the group of talent you see now. They're gonna have a totally different group. 5, 6, 7 years from now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's gonna take them time to develop a routine, but I feel like once they do, everything's gonna be good.
Yeah, definitely, because I think especially them being year 3, obviously the reason why they're probably bringing in a lot of big names and a lot of people is because they want to see what sticks and what
Yep,
works. Because obviously, like with the Attitude Era, they had to do that as well before it became the hottest freaking thing like in the world.
yep. But
And they saw like what sticked and what
but
didn't.
before you had the Attitude Era, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Undertaker, Mankind, you had Ahmed Johnson and the Oddities.
Yep. Val Venus.
Well, Val Venus was an instrumental role part in the Attitude Era. I
Yeah.
kind of fuck with Val Venus. He works at a weed shop now.
Yeah, I know,
But
right?
can we talk about what an awesome pairing it is to have William Regal with John Moxley and Bryan Danielson? He slapped the shit out of Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler Yuta
That
thought,
was great.
do you
That
think
was
that's gonna be
great.
turning into an angle? Maybe William Regal sees potential in Wheeler Yuta and they end up bringing him into their little faction thing that they have going on.
I don't know, but I definitely see some character change with Wheeler Yuta. I definitely see some character change, which now we will get into our first topic for this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show. Speaking of Wheeler Yuta, him and Chris Statliner are set for new character changes. These are reports that are going on.
Yeah, apparently Chris Statlander was like she was an alien or whatever, like ET's girlfriend or whatever you want to call it. But apparently there was a new a vignette that played on AEW Dynamite and it showed her wiping the makeup off,
It's
whatever.
about time they put a vignette too. Just want to say that.
Yeah, I don't mind it as long as they don't change too much. You know what I mean? Like I want her to be
Yeah.
the same badass that she has always been. Wheeler Yuta, I'm not that big of a fan. I don't know much about him. So when it comes to like a character change, like I don't understand like what you could do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so my thoughts about the Chris Statlander character change, please don't change her character too much because she is very unique and I think that's like the reason why I fell in love with Chris Statlander because not only is she has a pretty decent character and it's different, but also like her in-ring abilities is phenomenal. And I
Yep.
really hope that with this new character change this can maybe take her to world champion status because she definitely has potential of being a future world champion if she's booked properly.
Oh, definitely. I'm looking forward to
I
maybe
want to see a
maybe
heel run. That's
a
what I
heel
want to
run.
see.
Maybe she down the road or whatever. I do want Thunder Rosa to have a good run as champion, but maybe at
Yes.
some point her and Chris Statlander have some kind of feud or whatever. Maybe Thunder Rosa puts over Chris and drops the title to her in some kind of fashion. I mean, this
Hmm.
dude, the possibilities are fucking endless.
Yeah. My thoughts about Wheeler Yuta. I'm not the biggest fan of Wheeler Yuta. I never understood why he freaking was a part of Best Friends. As soon as he joined Best Friends, I actually don't really enjoy the group anymore like I used to. I
Dude, I'm a
liked when it
fan housing, man.
Like I love Danhausen. I love Danhausen. But I would rather see him be by himself than with best friends. I liked it when it was Chuck Taylor, Trent, and Orange Cassidy. That's
Yep.
when I liked it. But then, of course, Trent got injured, and then they brought in Wheeler Yuta because I think he was just doing dark matches. But I don't know. Yeah, he's a good in ring wrestler, but what else? I feel like there's not really personality there. I feel like I can't really judge him on promos because I haven't seen him cut a promo. But that's all he has is good in-ring work, and a lot of wrestlers have good in-ring work as well. So it's like, I don't know. My thoughts on, like, I really hope that, like, this slap meant something, because I do want to see a new side of Wheeler Yuta as long as he's away from best friends.
I mean, maybe, like I said, I mean, could that whole segment on Dynamite be like a sort of like a stepping stone to him joining William Regal, Danielson, and Moxley in some kind of fashion, whatever? Like him being their guinea pig or whatever. Like they're teaching him the ropes or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that kind
I
of,
would like to see that.
Kind of like how remember back in the Attitude Era when Regal had Tajiri?
Yeah.
Kind of like that kind of a character.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like with Wheeler Yuta. I feel like this is a role that, like, he can definitely strive in, and I think this is what he needs. I definitely, like, want to see a darker side of him, because obviously he can work in the ring. Like, the crowd was even, cheering for him. And I feel like after, like, he, like, stopped and then, like, went into the ring with William Regal, I'm not gonna lie, I saw that intensity in his eye, and I'm like, can we get this every week with him?
Yeah.
Because that's, like, the Wheeler Yuta I feel like I want to see.
Yeah, because I mean, we're not going to be getting Daniel Garcia in with that group, because
not hugs and fucking kisses and freaking rainbows and teddy bears.
Yeah.
I want to see a badass out of Wheeler Yuta, because he definitely has the look.
I mean, the three main guys that could bring that out in him is Moxley, Danielson, and William Regal. There you fucking go, man. There's an opening. Fucking book
That's
it.
Right.
You know, I'll
Book
take
it, Tony.
I'll take my check in hundreds. You know, you can direct deposit into my account.
That's right. Moving on now to our next topic. This is a WWE topic. WWE changed Pete Dunne's name to Butch.
Oh, God.
Yes, we do have to talk about it. Your favorite promotion in the entire world. You still love WWE to this day.
I'd rather crush my nuts with a stack of bricks. Alright, so everybody knows by now Pete Dunne, phenomenal performer, the bruiserweight. He was North American champion for fucking I don't even remember what his record was.
NXT
but he
UK champion as well.
Yeah, he was a massive stable in NXT. He got brought up to the main roster. For the past couple of months, him and Tommaso Ciampa have been doing a lot of dark matches and stuff before Raw, before SmackDown. I guess just trying to see where they fit in best. Apparently, Pete Dunne got brought up to SmackDown, and they turned him into like this 1940s paperboy, named Butch. He's got, the fucking the hat, and he's got the suspenders and the whole getup or whatever. I don't know, man. I just think it's fucking stupid, man. Like, if it's not broken, don't fix it, man. Like, Pete Dunne was fucking awesome.
I always say that, and like the fact that, like, because I love Ridge Hollins, I loved what he did, and I'm glad that they like kept his name and stuff. But like, come on now, Pete Dunne, that's a badass name. Like, it still would have worked with this group that they're doing, with Sheamus
and like I said earlier, they're thinking about bringing Tommaso Ciampa up and naming him Scutch.
And I'll still be calling him Ciampa, just like Pete Dunne. I'm still gonna call him Pete Dunne.
It's fucking brutal, man. Like, I don't
like
even know.
Even Madcap Moss. Like, I felt like his name Reddit Moss was so much better.
Madcap Moss just needs to fucking go away. Happy Corbin needs to go back to Brian Corbin. He needs to go back to the Lone Wolf gimmick.
Baron Corbin.
That's what I said. I said Baron. I said Baron.
Brian.
I said Baron. I said
Brian.
I said Baron, you bitch.
I will replay this.
Happy Corbin needs to go back to Brian Corbin. I said Baron, you asshole.
You said Brian.
I said Baron.
That's beside the point. We're talking about Butch, not Brian.
I know,
Baron.
but you got on the topic of Madcap Moss, so I have to explain my point of view. You asshole. Happy Corbin needs to go back to Brian Corbin.
Butch, like Artie, I feel like I feel like something like happened to like somebody like I feel like the guy that the creator of 1996, like whoever was like head of like coming up with names in 1996, locked up somebody like inside a freaking like basement or something, and like he's like trying to get his like revenge or something. I don't know, because all these freaking name changes the last like couple of years have been bleh.
Yeah, WWE just has a habit of, I mean, you have you have Nikki Trash. Nikki Cross was a badass, dude. She would come out all fucking crazy, and you know.
Oh,
just...
for real. Wait, who else had a name change as well? Oh, remember when they tried changing Seth Rollins' name to Seth frickin' Rollins?
Oh, they finally end that?
I don't know. I think they still do it, but it's not as bad. They still call him Seth Rollins at times.
It's just...
You know something? I don't know why they would name Pete Dunne after a bushwhacker.
He sounds like one of the like disposable characters in like the Little Rascals.
Yo, that's messed up though too, because think about it. They talk about how AEW copies WWE with stuff, but like, doesn't AEW have a wrestler named Butcher?
So, yeah, he's with Andrade Family Office, I think.
So we have Butch and Butcher. Oh, that's great. But it works with Butcher because he's an actual butcher.
Mm-hmm.
And he like looks like a
Pete Dunne just
Pete,
looks
Pete
Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne just looks like a 16-year-old high school student from 1939 that's a paper boy standing outside of a fucking convenience store trying to sell newspapers.
I feel so bad. I really hope that like Pete Dunne can like move forward and like do.
I hope Pete Dunne
WWE.
Leaves WWE once his contract expires, man.
Well, I feel so bad for him because when NXT 2.0 started, he re-signed like a 3-year deal, so he stuck his butch for the next 3 years.
I feel bad. I mean, I understand the money's good, man, but you're gonna hook up you're gonna hook up with a woman and she's gonna accidentally call you Butch in the bedroom, and it's not gonna, you know.
Oh, Butch! All right, we're getting a little carried away here. Moving on to our next topic. Dax Harwood in a recent interview said he's not satisfied with his AEW career so far.
Yeah, man, FTR, they were a badass team in WWE, and then they left, and they appeared in AEW when, before we got people back in the arenas or whatever, when they were still in Daly's place. Everybody thought, they were going to do extraordinary big ass things in AEW or whatever, and I mean, they haven't really accomplished anything, and it sucks, but it's all how you're booked. It's all how, the amount of work that you put in or whatever. I don't know. I'm not behind the scenes or whatever, so I don't know, like, what they had to do or what they should have done. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think from a fan's like perspective, and I think a lot of people will agree with me on this one, FTR's title reign, it was cut too short. And I feel like after they lost to the Young Bucks at All Out, or I think it was Full Gear, one or the other, that's when FTR kind of just like, that's like their downfall. Because their title run was just a little too short. And I think in that match against the Young Bucks, FTR should have won. Definitely should have been FTR. Because after that, like, think about it. Like, what has FTR really done since losing the titles?
Besides teaming themselves up with MJF when they need to? Nothing.
Yeah, and it's very disappointing because FTR, I think, is honestly like one of the greatest tag teams like in wrestling, like period. And I really hope they have a direction for them now moving forward, because obviously they split him from Tully Blanchard, which I want to know like what their plans are with Tully. Is he gonna just stay behind the scenes, or is he going to like be back with Sean Spears? Like I want to know what they're gonna do with him. But
Sean
like overall,
Sean Spears is the chair guy, man. We saw he was very prevalent.
chairman.
He was very prevalent in last night, and he caused a distraction that caused MJF to prevent Wardlow from winning the TNT title last night.
Yeah, and I feel like when it comes to yeah, when it comes to friggin' FTR, like I feel like they're definitely going to be turning face. I do see that happening. I really hope that if they are going to do a Young Bucks versus Butch match or Young Bucks and FTR match, I'm hoping FTR actually wins this time because like I want to see FTR get another push
I
because they're
think
too talented.
I think we need to have a triple threat tag team match. The winner of that match goes on to the next pay-per-view, gets a title shot for the tag team titles. Maybe the Jurassic Express retains or loses, whatever. And then they go on to maybe at some point face the Hardys for the AEW tag titles.
Yeah, I think we definitely need mid card AEW tag belts. Definitely, they could use that. Because their tag team division, they have a lot of freaking tag teams. So I think like them because like I feel like they've never had that before in wrestling. Like you've had your world tag team champions, but you've never had like a mid card tag champions. And
So
AEW could strive with that.
speaking of tag teams, apparently you were right, man, on your analogy from a couple of weeks ago when we were speculating on whether Eric Redbeard was actually all elite or if it was a one-off. He hasn't appeared since Revolution, man.
Yeah, and so far he hasn't been on Darker Elevation, so it looks like it was a one off.
I mean, the dude is so talented. They need. I mean, if you're bringing in guys like Wheeler Yuta and like a lot of these small guys, you got to bring in fucking Eric Redbeard. Like I do. Besides him being very
But he's a
prevalent,
former WWE guy. That's
yeah.
what they would all. That's what the WWE fans would
Besides
say.
him being a very
The
prevalent member
universe.
of the Wyatt family from back in WWE, you know, his roots are cemented with Bray Wyatt as well as Brody Lee, Luke Harper. I mean, I think he'd be able to add a lot to to AEW.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I just feel I feel like when it comes to like FTR, they just need like a kick in the ass so that they can like get back into championship contending. And
Something
that's the
needs to
thing that
happen.
sucks. There's too many good tag teams in AEW, so it's like people are going to get lost in the shuffle, and unfortunately
Yeah.
FTR did.
And the thing is, I don't want like Jurassic Express. Like they won the titles in December. When Ray Phoenix got chokeslammed through the table and his arm got contorted or whatever.
Mhm.
Um they've only defended the titles like two or three occasions. Do you think it's time for them to possibly drop the titles, or would you see them carrying on?
I wanted them to drop the titles to Red Dragon, but obviously Red Dragon they need more time with AEW. I think it is getting to that time where they should drop the championships. Who do you think they should drop the titles to?
Oh wow, I was literally just thinking the same thing that I was gonna ask you. Um,
Reverse psychology.
I actually would like to see Red Dragons as tag team champions. I mean, they just fit like the mold of, you know. Imagine Adam Cole winning the AEW title at Double or Nothing, and then Red Dragons having the tag titles. I mean, that there's another team that's draped in gold, man.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty interesting. One like they're definitely like it needs to be a big tag team. Like we got Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, which I get why they're probably not taking the belts off of them right now because Luchasaurus is getting very over with the crowd now.
I think they need to break up Jurassic Express, and
I agree.
Luchasaurus needs to go out on his own. The dude could be definitely a main event player if he really played his cards right. And I was gonna
Yeah.
say something else regarding the tag team titles and Red Dragons. You damn well know if the time comes that they're gonna put the tag titles on Red Dragons, you damn well know very soon after or before then they're gonna throw the title on Adam Cole, because they wouldn't have Adam Cole be somewhat the leader between, leader of them or whatever, like their little group or whatever. They're not gonna have Red Dragons be champions and not have Adam Cole.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But now moving on to our next topic before the main event topic, of course. Edge on Monday Night Raw came out to a new theme song. There's been some compliments, but also some criticism because, of course, everybody loves the original Edge theme song. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, man, it's by Alter Bridge, the same band that sings his original music that everybody knows. I actually fuck with it heavy, man. I'm not crazy about, like, the lighting or whatever, because I feel like the lighting, like as he's coming out, like the black and purple, because I feel like it's too Undertaker. Maybe having like
Red
something
would be
else.
sick.
Yeah, but Red, they did it with Bray Wyatt, the Fiend. You know what I mean? So you would have to think of like what fits his persona. That's not that's new and refreshing. I just don't know if the black and purple really fit in well. But other than that, man, I've always liked Edge as a heel. I've always, he's like Chris Jericho. They've always excelled really well in those kind of roles. I'm very interested in seeing how the story progresses between him and AJ. Is it going to end after Mania? Is it going to carry on into, after Mania, going into WrestleMania Backlash or Backlash, whatever you want to call it? Um, I'm intrigued to find out, man. How long is Edge going to finish his career as a heel? Is he ever going to be face again? Is he going to be able to? Is he going to turn face and possibly be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns and have one last title reign? Like, you don't like there's that possibilities are endless, man.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. There's definitely lots of questions, and I feel like with this Edge character change, I am really enjoying it. Like this is just a different side of Edge that we haven't seen, and I really am digging it a lot. I think the entrance song definitely represents the character change a lot.
Yep.
And I love it, especially in the beginning. Like it's like all Sinnersy, and then like you have Edge saying, "Do you think you know me?" Like that was like
You never did,
icing
and
on the cake.
it just hear him laughing. Do I?
And you hear the
That's like,
bass and the guitar. That was great.
dude. Alter Bridge is such a good band, man.
Yeah, I feel like with Edge's new character change, I like it a lot, and I think definitely we should be seeing AJ Styles come back probably next week.
You know what I would love to see to make things more interesting? Remember when I mean, yeah, it's been done before, but it's always entertaining to see. Especially if somebody could put a new spin on it. Like maybe like having like 2-3 weeks before Mania or whatever, having AJ Styles come back or whatever. He comes out, cuts a killer promo, tries to call out Edge. Edge isn't at the arena, he shows up on the Titantron, and it shows him in front of AJ Styles' house,
I can see
like
that
to
happening.
add more fuel to the fire to make the story more intense, man. Because nothing's more intense than a man fucking with another man's family.
And I feel like, especially with how sickening this new Edge character is, he has to go that length because, look, when he was feuding with John Cena back in, 2006, he
Yep.
friggin' went to John Cena's dad's house and freaking slapped him across the face.
And then went through
Like,
like all of
it's
John
deep.
Cena's like old jerseys or whatever in his bedroom. But they had like AJ Styles, like Samoa Joe did it, when Samoa Joe and him were feuding, which I thought that was a phenomenal feud back in like
Seth Rollins and
2016.
Edge.
Like, I feel like to intensify, but you also got to do it in a way that hasn't really been done before.
Mhm.
Like what steps can you take to reinvigorate the story, but also make it different and stand out from everything else? You know what I mean?
I feel like something's going to happen in the storyline because I do like how they took 2 weeks to have Edge cut a promo, kind of like, bringing the new character out in him so that we kinda get a feel for it, And I think definitely next week, there's no way AJ Styles doesn't come back. And Edge will probably do something either backstage or outside the arena on the Titantron, probably.
And on when Edge cut the first promo, like the week after the whole, him attacking AJ or whatever, he said, you should put the wife and the kids to bed. They don't need to be hearing or seeing what's gonna happen. I mean, there's your segue into, doing something extreme, having Edge show up at AJ Styles' house while AJ's at Raw, and AJ just freaks out, runs out of the arena, and it just makes the story intensified. I mean, I think
Yeah.
they opened it up perfect. Like, I critique WWE on a lot, but I will say whenever they get it right, they fucking get it right. And if Raw could be like this, like, if WWE as a whole, all the storylines, whatever, could be as
Not
intensified as
cartoony, real.
if they could be as intensified as this Agent AJ Styles storyline, I mean, WWE would be a really, really good product and everybody would want to watch it.
Yeah, no, I agree. But overall, Edge's theme song, thumbs up, I give it.
Yeah, man. I'm a big fan of Alter Bridge, so I think they need to
Yeah,
come to WrestleMania. They need to perform that song and play Edge to the ring on WrestleMania. That'd be awesome.
that would be sick. I can't wait to see what special entrance they do with Edge for Mania, because there's going to be something special.
Yeah.
So now, moving on now to our last topic for this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show, the main event. Joey Janela revealed in a recent podcast interview that he will not be re-signing with AEW. I sent you the link of the interview, and of course, I even watched the interview as well, because there was lots of takes in this that I feel like is definitely main event worthy.
Yeah, it was the interview was conducted by Denise Salceda, who is part of Fightful. Um I didn't watch the entire interview. I did watch the 20-minute one where he
Mhm.
talks about AEW and stuff like that.
The
Cuz you were
the
cuz you
juicy stuff.
Yeah, I did watch that. I couldn't do 53 minutes on that.
I couldn't
I've
either.
never been a huge fan of Joey Janela. I don't really know anything about him. Don't know, like, what path his career has taken since he's gotten to this point. But he did say in the interview that, he broke Eddie Kingston's orbital bone in his nose doing a super kick or whatever. He was working out. He didn't realize how much powerful his legs have gotten. Um Maybe he's a dangerous worker. Maybe it was an accident. Pro wrestling at the end of the day is a dangerous sport. You can get hurt you could fucking sprain your ankle walking up the fucking steps. Like, wrestling is just dangerous. Um, I don't really have too many thoughts on it because, like I said, I'm not like that educated when it comes to Joey Janela's career. I'll probably let you take the reins on it. Do I think that him not resigning is a good thing? Possibly, because when he was in AEW, I didn't really see much of what he did anyway. So,
hmm Yeah, so my thoughts on this, because obviously I have been a fan of Joey Janela since watching him over at Blitzkrieg Pro. He has been like one of the top independent wrestlers in the world around the time that I started watching him, to where, he got the contract with AEW. And in my opinion, he definitely, I think AEW is not going to re-sign him, even if he wants to get a contract with them. I'm glad that he's focused on his health now. I'm glad that he's doing better mentally. But I'm sorry, but I've never seen a wrestler take advantage of an opportunity, or I've never seen a wrestler get a huge opportunity like AEW and take that shit for granted. Because I think that's what happened with Joey Janela. In the beginning, he was a regular. He had a great match with John Moxley. He had a great match with Kenny Omega. And also he had a really cool triple threat match with Jimmy Havoc and Darby Allin at one of their first shows. He's good, but the problem is he got way too comfortable, and then the fact that he can't work in a freaking empty arena, I'm sorry, but my critique about that is Like, he's this independent superstar. He's one of the top independent guys in the entire world. That's what he says, and that's what people say as well.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that Joey Janela has definitely wrestled in front of 10 people before.
Oh, absolutely. There's been some dive bar, pro wrestling show that, yeah, I mean, every wrestler has been through that.
So, like, for him not, like, to use that as an excuse, like, I don't know. Like, for me, it doesn't convince me at all. Like, even, like, him, like, even before AEW, he actually wrestled, an Invisible Man. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah,
How do
and
you?
he actually, like, no, like, he legit, in front of a crowd, I think there was, like, maybe 30 people at this show, literally wrestled himself. There was no wrestler. No,
Hey,
and then
man.
he even used a ladder in this as well. A ladder. Fighting an Invisible Man, like, kind of like when Vince McMahon had God as his tag team partner. That really happened.
I'm gonna have to. Is that video on YouTube? I gotta look
Yes,
that
it
up.
is. You have to look it up. But one thing I've always said about Joey Janela, like, I've enjoyed his work, but I don't know, after the breakup with Penelope Ford and, like, a lot of his character, I felt like they really benefited off each other a lot. And, like, they came in together with in AEW. Like, if you watch All In, the
Yeah.
first, like, show that they ever did, you watch that Joey Janela versus I believe it was him versus Hangman Adam Page. Like, you'll definitely see, like, if you look at Joey Janela now to before, you're gonna say there's something missing about that. And I feel like Penelope Ford, like, made the bad boy so popular. And of
Yeah.
course, they had a breakup and she moved on. She's with Kip now. And I don't know. Joey Janela just hasn't really been the same.
He got his heart broke, man. The pussy must have been really good, apparently.
Yeah, I'm just disappointed because Joey Janela, he was supposed to be one of their top original AEW guys. That's why they brought him in. And I don't know. He gave up. And, like, I
It just
think,
seems like a lot of especially a lot of guys on the indies or whatever, they're like, they bust their ass and they work to get, this kind of opportunity. And then they get it and they just feel like, I got here, this is where I wanted to get. Maybe I can just, sit back and relax and be a little bit comfortable with the position I'm in. And doesn't definitely always work out with, a perfect instance is the whole Joey Janela situation.
yeah, and that's something too. Like, I will say, like, I know he talked about in that video was about him and Sonny Kiss. And they actually, like, that is probably the only storyline around the time that I actually paid attention to on Dark, because it was the only thing, like, actually entertaining
Yeah.
on Dark, besides, like, having jobbers go against, like, your top guys just for better rankings. Um I thought that that was pretty good. But of course, Joey Janela thinks that him injuring Eddie Kingston cost him. But now, how do you feel about his take on the AEW talents relations, saying there's not enough communication? Because that's a pretty bold take.
I mean, no matter what, like we can talk about it all day long, but we're not behind the scenes. We don't know what it's like backstage. You know what I mean? We know sort of what, like, the inner workings of WWE because we've watched it for so many years. We know everybody that's in charge or whatever. I don't know everybody that works backstage. I don't know, who's this. There's the Young Bucks are, executive vice presidents of AEW. Like, I don't know who they have working for them technically. Do I think it's a possibility? Do I think that Joey Janela lied or would lie? No, because I mean, one, he's never given me a reason to think that he would do that, and two, like, he said it in like a very, like, it wasn't like a derogatory thing. He didn't say it in like a mean
Hmm.
way or anything like that. So there could be a possibility. We already heard what happened between Chavo and Tony Khan or whatever, the miscommunication there. So maybe there's so much talent and so very few people behind the scenes that, the performers can talk to. Because Tony Khan, I mean, he can try, but he's only one person. He can't, talk
Hmm.
and settle, everything with everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying there, but this is like a reoccurring thing that I keep hearing from people. Leo Rush even said it at one point. Also,
Leo
Joey
Rush is on.
Janela.
Leo Rush is a whole nother thing, man. That
Yeah,
dude.
no, I know.
It
I'm
seems
just
like he
setting an
caused.
example.
He seems like Leo Rush seems like he causes a lot of the issues that prevent him from moving his career upward.
Yeah, and also like miscommunications, like with Chavo Guerrero, of course. And like even like Marco Stunt as well. He used to be a part of Jurassic Express, and then as soon as Christian came along, they kind of just ignored him. They never really gave him an explanation or anything like that. And I feel like, especially hearing this from multiple different wrestlers and stuff, especially like the way Joey Janela was in the interview, like it wasn't like he was coming at AEW. He was
Hmm.
grateful for the opportunity that he got. It didn't work out. It's time to move on. And I think just the miscommunication thing, this is something that, especially right now, AEW should clean up, because now that they got bigger talent and stuff, they need to, keep this momentum, and they need to keep things like this under the radar, because I think communication, I always say this even in like my personal life, communication is key.
Yep.
And that's something that with AEW that they're going to have to start doing, because you can't just blackmail wrestlers and just completely ignore them.
Yep.
Because I believe Christopher Daniels is heads of talent relations, but they need to have more people in charge of this stuff, because you can't
What
have
about
Joey
Mark?
Janela
What about Mark
being
Henry and
left with
Big and
questions.
Mark Henry and Paul White? They only do anything on like dark elevation or whatever. I mean, they'd be perfect to add to that role of talent relations, to where maybe they can be there to, if any of the performers need anything or want to talk about anything, discuss anything. Maybe I mean, they've been in the business a long time. You
And
know.
that's the thing, like, I really don't want to see AEW get this bad reputation because of them miscommunicating with wrestlers, because that's not a good look, especially like if someone wants to leave WWE, for example, or like let's say like a big name wants to come out of like retirement or like something, and they want to go to AEW, and then they see like Joey Janela's interview about, oh, like talent relations like didn't communicate with me or Marco Stunt. It's like, do I really want to go there? Because obviously, like, you have a boss for a reason, or a manager,
Yeah.
and they're the ones that are supposed to tell you what to do, and then that's what you do. But having that miscommunication's not good.
Yeah.
And
Did you hear?
I feel
So
like it can't be a lie from Joey Janela.
Did you hear the whole thing with Chavo and Tony Khan? Tony Khan pretty much
Crazy.
said it in the post revolution scrum or whatever, to where he got one text from Chavo Guerrera, and he didn't reply right away, and he immediately went to the press or whatever. So I don't think it was an ongoing thing with Chavo. I think maybe that was like maybe he wanted out of AEW. He didn't like it or whatever.
Well, I believe he was filming Young Rock. That's like what they were saying.
Yeah, but he sent one
And
text
Tony
to
said it was okay.
he sent one text to Tony Khan, and then he just went to the press and said, that the talent relations, and that it's very hard to communicate with the higher ups there and stuff like that. So I maybe that was done maliciously. I have no idea.
Yeah, with the Chavo thing, like, I don't really know too much about that. That's why I don't really give my opinion on that. For
Yep.
me, I was just using Chavo as an example. So, yeah, I think just in general, I really hope moving forward AEW gets better with their communication, because I don't want to see this happen where we keep signing these guys and then they end up leaving, and then, a lot of people start turning on AEW.
Yep. I mean, we're just gonna see, like, maybe Tony Khan sees all this, information being put out there, whatever. Maybe he does work on it, to better it in the future. But we're just gonna have to wait and see. Like I said, we're not behind the scenes. We can only speculate and talk about what is told to us. You know what I mean? So maybe it gets better. Hopefully, it gets better, because AEW is a great product, and I feel like it gives more leeway to a lot of the stars to be able to be themselves.
Yeah, And I think, moving forward, Joey Janela, being a free agent, I think is the best career move for him because obviously, like, he had a lot, like, he made a name for himself in the independents.
He
And,
made a
like,
name for himself. He made a name.
especially with GCW, like, being, like, where it's at right now, like, they could use a superstar like Joey Janela.
But like, even if he wanted to do the independents, he made a name for himself in AEW on a national scale. He's had matches with guys like Eddie Kingston, Chris Jericho, John Moxley. Like, he could pretty much have any kind of booking fee that he wants, and bookers will pay that because AEW star, AEW star, AEW star. You know what I mean? So I think,
Yeah.
regardless if he's on TV or not, the dude's gonna make a very comfortable living. Doing the
Mhm.
independents, selling merch, meet and greets, whatever. You know what I mean?
Hey, and honestly, like, that's a good thing for him because, like, he would wrestle, like, he would be sleeping in his car and, like, he would do shows for free at one point in his, like, the beginning of his career. Like, he was broke because how much he loved the sport. So, like, for him to, have that, I'm happy for him. I really am.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that should wrap up this week's episode of the talk show. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. The links are down in the description below. You can go follow my co-host Danny over on his Instagram page. And also, you can go check out his 2 YouTube channels, Danny H Vlogs, where he does, friggin' watch-alongs and wrestling content over there. And, of course, you can go check out Danny's reaction videos on Danny Huckins, where he does, reactions to music and stuff. That's down below. You can also go follow me on my social medias, my Twitter, my Instagram, and also go subscribe over to my 2 other channels, DBTV, where there's nothing but basketball content, and Best One Network, where there's going to be new content coming out very soon on there. All the links are down in the description below. And definitely you guys are going to want to stay tuned for next Friday because our schedule is going to be a little bit different next week because next Friday, Danny and I have the honor to do our first interview with Blitzkrieg Pro superstar, the Golden Grappler, Travis Huckabee. We're going to be doing our interview, so that will be coming up on the We Are Wrestling channel next Friday. And the We Are Wrestling Talk Show will be coming out that Saturday. But, of course, all the We Are Wrestling maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.